This is a 3-speed on the column. And sometimes when you're going down the road, you're happily shifting and the gears, they stick. And it's usually on 3rd gear. I'm trying to replicate it now, but it's not working for me now. It's working just fine. Oh, there it goes. It's stuck. So you have to leave your vehicle and do this. You have to pull this shaft right here in order to unstick it. This is 1st and reversed, and this is 2nd and 3rd. So one way to fix this is to lubricate the Gearshift control shaft housing, which is right here. Now I already took the liberty of taking out the 4 screws. There was 1 in each corner, and this is what it looks like. Now I was looking online and on one of the manuals what type of grease to use here, but I couldn't find it on the repair manual nor online. However, I did find it in another. Let me show you. Now I couldn't find anything on the shop manual. However, the factory assembly manual, which I also have, that's where I found the information. So I was looking through it today, and this is it right here. If you follow this arrow, this is the housing assembly right there. And it says, what does it say? 3, use lubrication instructions. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning of this book to look at the lubrication instructions. Yeah, my dividers. Yeah, drill bits. All right, right here. It says right there, the Gearshift control shaft housing assembly. You have to remove the cap, so you don't have to take out the 4 screws like I did. There is a cap on top, which I'm going to show you. And it says to use a viscose type chassis lubricant right there. Pressure gun lubricant. And that's what I have. And that's exactly what I'm going to use today. So, if you have the shop manual, in many cases, the factory assembly manual, it's a good thing to have too. Now the housing does have grease, but it's very old grease. Probably, I've had the truck for 25 years, so this is probably 30-year-old grease, or maybe even older. So I'm gonna replace it. I'm gonna clean this up. Oh, and there's the cap on top. So what you can do is with a flathead screwdriver, you can just remove this cap. There we go, it's very simple. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna clean this cap. I'm gonna take some of that old grease out and fill it with some of my newer grease. All right, so I cleaned out the cap, I cleaned the screws, and look at this grease. Yep, it's kind of hard. I pulled it out using a screwdriver. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna go inside the vehicle and I'm gonna show you how that thing shifts. It should not stick if I do it slow enough, but here, take a look. That's reverse, that's first, that's second, and that's third. That's neutral right there. So that's gonna be reverse, first, second, and third. It's not sticking right now, but I am sure that it will stick when I go on the road. Unless this grease does its job. I've never seen this thing shift before. Not even on video, but I'm gonna look at my video and see how it worked. Now I'm gonna use the red and tacky grease. This is a normal grease, and this is NLGI number 2, okay? So I'm gonna add as much grease as I can before putting the lid on, and then I'm gonna get my grease gun. I mean, you can do it from the top, just pour it in. But I want to get as much as I can before using my gun. Yeah, I'm going to put some pressure in there. I mean, I'm hoping it'll help solve the problem, but I'm not sure. I may have to adjust the linkages. But if you try nothing, you learn nothing. There you go. A more modern 2024 grease. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean around the base and then put the top on and add more grease.
Bobby?
Yeah?
Para tu gallinita, toma, lechuga.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gracias. There you go, guys. So I'm gonna take the lid, or the cover. I'm gonna put it in its place, like so. And now I'm gonna put all 4 screws in. By the way, no gasket involved. So I'm gonna tighten them up kind of like in a star pattern and apply maybe about 10 foot-pounds of pressure. Doesn't have to be super tight. There we go. Now I'm gonna take out the top, or this lid, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up with a gun. A grease gun, that is. All right, so I'm gonna use the same type of grease, the Red and Tacky number 2, NLGI 2, to top it off. I'm gonna go ahead and shift so I can move some of the grease around and then do it again. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but it feels a little bit smoother now. Huh. Okay, I think I'm done. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap back on. That simple. Let's go ahead and shift one more time. I'm trying to lock it up, but it won't lock up this time. Maybe it did work. Wow. I had that problem 20 some odd years ago, and now it's working good. Yeah, it's working good. I tried to lock it. I tried my best to lock it. So basically on these 3-speed on the column type of cars, if you shift very fast, they tend to lock. But I couldn't do it this time. Now for some of the older, like 60s vehicles, there's some kind of adjustment that you do on these levers. These appear to be properly adjusted. They are even with each other. The later 60 models are a little bit easier to adjust. And what am I gonna do now? You know, I could lubricate these rods down below. I mean, they appear to be soft right now. No problem, but yeah, it's an idea. All right, so for the linkages right there and there, I'm gonna use WD-40. I mean, they seem to be working fine, but you never know. Maybe in the future they may stick. Work them back and forth. And I'm gonna do the same underneath. All right, guys, one last thing. I have a small brush, and I'm gonna add some grease to it. And then I'm gonna add it to the top of this nut slash bolt. And then I'm gonna add a little bit to the firewall, just a tad. And you may be wondering why. I don't know if you can tell, but this lever, second and third, is way too close to the firewall. So it may be rubbing against it. And how am I gonna fix this? Well, I'm gonna need to install cab mounts, meaning that I have to lift up the cab from the frame and install new mounts. But that's for another video. But right now it's working fine. Super smooth. The same for the other two gears. Super smooth. So yeah, I went down below and I added some WD-40 to the levers where they connect and they pivot, and it is perfect. Is it fixed? I sure hope so. And I'll find out over the next couple of weeks when I drive it more and more. By the way, I did get license plates, a registration, and a new title for the state of New York for this truck, and now it's legal. I can take it out on the street. However, I need to get it inspected within 10 days. I got the new plates yesterday, and I need to take it to my mechanic, drive it about maybe 6 or 7 miles to my mechanic Joe, and he's gonna inspect it, and hopefully I'll get the new sticker. Now, because this truck has historical plates, I do not need an emissions test. What I need is a safety test, brakes, lights, etc. And I'm gonna be doing that in the next week or week and a half. Like I said a second ago, I'll let you know if the shifting works properly. And I just tried it a few minutes ago. I tried my best to get it stuck again, and it worked fine. If you have a 1940s or 1950s Chevy, 3-speed on the column or something similar, let us know in the comments below, how do you lubricate your linkages? Disclaimer, I am no mechanic, I am no expert at this. This is actually the first time I open this thing up, and all the information, I found it in the book. So what's next?